Welcome. I'm Rebel Trainer. This is Rebel Nation. Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day. I have a special video to bring to you today. We are going to talk about what we did just a couple days ago in our draft league. This is something new that I'm bringing to the channel. We're going to be doing some competitive Pokemon among some other PokeTubers, and I'm just super excited. So, as you can see on the layout here, we are the Bouffalant Sabres. You can see our little logo up there, which is pretty cool. Big Buffalo Sabres fan, so that's kind of the inspiration for the logo and for our team name. Now, I had the privilege being part of the International Battle Association, which I'm going to read to you kind of how we broke down what we did and why we did it. But I had the privilege of being first in the draft. So I got first pick, first top tier, which a lot of pressure, never doing any competitive battling before, but it is what it is. And so I'll show you here in just a minute the 11 Pokemon that we chose. But every coach that we have 8 in total. We'll draft 11 Pokemon. I'm just reading this off the screen here. There was no tier system, no A, B, C, or S ranking. We just got the pick from the 400 some Pokemon that we were able to obtain through the Sword and Shield database. And so we just went down. I got the pick first, then second, third, fourth, fifth, and then I had to wait all the way back up for round 2 to pick my second, but then I got to pick my third right after my second. So, and so each team, we selected a captain. We are only allowing 1 Pokemon per team to be able to Dynamax or Gigantamax if that Pokemon is capable of doing it. So that is our designated captain for our team. So that way, kind of like what we did was done in Gen 7 with Z moves, you could then know what Z Pokemon would be using. So I drafted my 11, and then I picked my captain from there. And if we use our Dynamax or our Gigantamax on another Pokemon that's not our captain, then we lose that match as a forfeit. And so we banded a couple Pokemon. We banded the legendaries, obviously. We banded, I forget what the other thing we banded. Check right here. Zacian, Zamazenta, Eternatus, they were banned. We banned the ability Arena Trap, Shadow Tag, Guerrilla Tactics, and Moody. And we banned the Dynamaxing of Dracovish and Gyarados just because we felt that those were extremely powerful. But, so, with all that in mind, here is our team as I drafted it. So our very first Pokemon that we were able to draft was Dragapult. Dragapult is a very powerful mon. He has a high speed and a very strong attack, and so I felt that he was the best Pokemon to be chosen first out of round 1 for me, and so that's what we went ahead and did there. And then we also went on to pick Mimikyu in the second round, trying to get that strong Dragon, Fairy, Steel core. And to be honest, I came in with a mindset of who I'd be drafting and what order. Hopefully they'd be still there by the time it came back to me. And because we're all new at this for the most part, I felt a lot of Pokemon were still left over at the end of each round that I felt would not be. So it was kind of interesting how my team shook out for this whole process. But you can see, number 1, we picked Dragapult. Number 2, we picked Mimikyu. Again, a very strong, fast Fairy type, which I thought complemented Dragapult very well with the Disguise ability. Just made a very powerful mon to choose in the second round. And then I got the pick right after that, my third round Pokemon, which I picked Toxtricity, just because, again, a strong, hard-hitting Pokemon that I felt was very good for our team. He was still available, and I thought that it was important to pick him up in the 4th round. And then on our 4th round coming up, I had to pick my Steel type, and I picked Ferrothorn. Bulky mon, strong on the defensive, even the specialty defensive side, and so Ferrothorn was still there. One of the Steel types I wanted was not available anymore. Excadrill was the one I was hoping to be able to pick up, but he wasn't available by the time I got back to him. So then in our 5th round, I was able to select Rhyperior, which I did, and I'll explain why you see Gastrodon there on the screen here in just a second. But I picked Rhyperior in the 5th round, wanting a strong ground typing because I was noticing our weakness to ground was pretty great. Got all the way to the end and realized that Rhyperior had a huge 4 times weakness to grass, and water, and so I didn't really like that too much. And so for me, I was looking at all the free agents that were still available. Could we allow 24 hours to change up your team if you wanted to, without it costing you anything special? And Gastrodon was sitting there, and I thought, man, Gastrodon has no 4x weakness, except for grass, and there aren't a ton of really strong grass Pokemon in this generation. And with it also having the Storm Drain ability, being able to soak up water moves, I thought Gastrodon was a pretty solid pick on our part, and also being a little bit of a bulky boy himself. So that's who I picked. In the 5th round, I picked Rhyperior, but then I decided to drop him and pick up Gastrodon because he was still sitting there. Then for round 7, I picked Pelipper. Again, I was looking to... Originally, I was going to go for a Sand Core, with Excadrill being one of my main attackers. But with him being gone, I just didn't feel that the Sand option was as strong for us. So then I decided to choose Pelipper, being a water flying type, kind of help rounding out some of our weaknesses, and also having the Drizzle ability, being kind of a strong support Pokemon in that regards. And so I was super pumped to be able to pick him up, which then adjusted my next choice that I had, and that I went with Malamar, because I was looking for a strong Dark type and Psychic type, and with the Contrarian ability, I thought it was a pretty solid pick for our team. So I went with him because I was hoping, after picking Pelipper, that this Pokemon would still be around by the time it came to the 8th round, which it was, because I got the pick immediately afterwards, and so I knew that. And so I picked Salazzle. Salazzle, again, not a ton of fire type Pokemon that are in this generation that are really good, and most of them were picked by the time I felt I could choose my fire type. And in fact, just before that, I was hoping to pick up Arcanine, but literally was just grabbed right before I could pick up him. So then I went with Salazzle, being a strong fire poison type, speedy, hard hitting, glass cannon in all regards. But hey, she is going to, I think, do some pretty solid work for our team. And then I finally picked... The reason why I picked Pelipper was because Barraskewda was still on the board, and I thought for sure he'd still be here by the time we reached round 9, and he was. So with the Swift Swim ability, it makes him a very fast, again, strong physical attacker, I believe, or maybe special, I can't remember. But Swift Swim, very effective in the rain, which Pelipper sets up with Drizzle, or he's just a really hard attacking with the other ability, which I can't think of off the top of my mind what it is. But it basically allows them to ignore all abilities. And so I thought, just with that water typing with Pelipper, it complemented very well and would do very well for our team as well. Then, with only a few Pokemon left, I thought it was important to, again, pick up somebody who will allow us to avoid some of our ground weaknesses that we have on the team, being Toxtricity. Ferrothorn has somewhat of a ground weakness. Rhyperior at the time had a huge ground weakness as well, and then Salazzle. So I thought having a levitating Pokemon would be good. Steel Psychic is a very strong type as well. He allows us to set up Self Rocks, and again, like I said, avoids the ground weakness that our team was in desperate need to have covered. And also, if I don't need to run a Levitate Bronzong, and also run a Heat Armor or whatever his heat resistant ability is, so that can help us out too, especially for Ferrothorn, who has a big fire type weakness as well. So I thought Bronzong at round 10 was a pretty solid pick, which then allowed me to pick my last Pokemon, which would be Flygon, as you'll see here. Again, with the Levitate ability, Dragon, Ground, Strong, Speedy, physical attacker as well. Just allow us to kind of round out our team, as you can see there as well. So there's the 11 Pokemon I picked, and at the end of the whole free agency, we were supposed to tell our league who our captain was, and so for me, I was kind of debating back and forth between a couple Pokemon, but I decided that Dragapult would be our captain, as he was our first round pick. I thought no better fit for us than that, and also he's just so strong. So I thought with the Dynamax ability, he could be just a good maybe sweeper or late round cleanup. for us. But there's my 11 Pokemon. Like I said, I switched out Rhyperior for Gastrodon at the end, and I just thought that helped to cover some of our weaknesses. So big question for you guys is, what do you think of the team? Do you think that I drafted very well for my first time ever drafting a team? What do you think our record's going to be? And what are some of the favorite Pokemon that you see on the team? Or did you think that maybe I should have went for somebody else? Obviously not being a part of the entire draft, we kind of did it behind the scenes. You're not able to see everything that was there by the time I picked in the rounds, but let me know in the comment section below. Hit that like button and look forward to the future battles that we'll have with fellow PokeTubers, and look forward to that. Other than that, I'm Rebel Trainer. This is Rebel Nation. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you guys next time.